Evening all, and welcome back to episode 11 of Kerbal space program Kerbalism. In the last episode, we left Gracie and Dudlow Kerman in orbit without enough fuel to actually get back home. So, something has happened. Whilst I was off on YouTube watching a video by the genius Scott Manley on how gravity assists help you, I accelerated time in the game, and after 37 days managed to get another encounter with the moon. This encounter was sudden death. It would have ponted me straight into the actual moon itself, but had we come out the other side, we would have shot off into interplanetary space and probably never be heard from again. However, tweaking the maneuver node right here, changing things around, change a bit, I discovered with 92.3 meters a second of delta V, I can in fact use the moon's gravity to bring me around and plot me 47 kilometers above Kerbin's surface. That's fantastic. That means I'll still have about half the fuel I've got now, so about 15-ish litres, to slow myself down there. By doing that, I'll be able to get to Kerbin to slow down in the atmosphere to hopefully not explode. I'm not sure what sort of speed that's going to bring me in at. That's a little quick, I think, but no. Let's give it a try. If this doesn't work, if we end up going terribly wrong, I will burn the rest of our fuel off just getting us into an orbit around Kerbin and send a rescue. I am going to finish the video by Scott Manley to find out about gravity assist, because that's pretty damn cool. Being able to actually essentially manoeuvre. I mean, the video he's got here, he's going off to, I think, Eve, and planning gravity assists like 4 or 5 planets down the line. I don't really understand how he's doing that, but we'll get there. We'll get there in the end. I'm sure of it. Let's warp to our manoeuvre. It's only a 5-second burn. It's nice and easy. Let's go back to... Stop that. Warp to manoeuvre node. That's what I want to do. And let's see whether this goes right or terribly, terribly wrong. My first little encounter with the moon obviously would have been straight into its surface. Pretty damn hard, pretty damn fast, pretty damn painful. Burnt off well over half our food. Gracie and Dudlow, you're fine, aren't you? You're fine. There's no problem here. You've never obviously read the previous reports of what happened. Stay on target. Stay on target. Right. What's that? 40. That brings us down to 40. That's a little close. Not sure if we'd burn up there. I might fire it a little bit. We're down to 12 litres of fuel though. Let's go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Just don't tell the Kerbals I said that. Not entirely sure what happened there. Accelerated time too much, I think. Did we go around the planet? Did we come out the other side? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's accelerate time again, but not quite as quick as that. A million times acceleration is a little... Something definitely happened, because we're now 2 million meters away. That's what I get for being impatient. Right. I think we are going to come here and burn all our fuel off, slowing ourselves down. We don't actually need that node there. Let's just go to the maneuver node. We'll burn the rest of the fuel off, slowing ourselves down, and then issue a rescue craft I think that's what's going to have to happen here. And I do kind of need to do it quickly. They're down on food. Oxygen should be fine. But just quickly, what would I need to bring us down? I would need ridiculous amounts. No, I can't do that. I don't have 65 left. Nope. Right. Fire the engine. Bring us down. There we are. We're out. We're completely out. I'm not going to detach the engine, because the idea would be to send possibly a smaller craft up, get in close, and hopefully, now we've completed them other contracts, we should be able to unlock the connector nodes from the Kerbal attachment system. Let's go and have a quick look at that. Nighttime. Right, yes, we've got 770,000. That's still a large chunk. Very large chunk. Will allow us to collect surface samples and resource transfers available. Let's do that. There we go. Boff. 300,000 down. Now, we want that one, the connector port. That will allow us to add a winch from here to a craft, fly out, attach a connector port to the other craft, to our Moon Express, transfer fuel over to it to allow it to come home, allow it to slow down. We can finally start doing things, which gives us a few manoeuvring things. RCS, they would be very useful for getting closer to dock. That, all in all, jumbo fuel tank, yes, I think all in all that's a very useful thing. So, a slight jump cut there because I had a game crash, unfortunately. I did decide to take the opportunity to go around the KSC and pick up all the surface samples, because we've now unlocked that, giving ourselves a nice boost to the science. So, I can unlock command modules. Don't think I'm going to use these this go round. May do for the rescue craft, but it's certainly going to be used for our next trip to the moon. So, let's unlock that. Aha. And let us build a rescue craft. So, whilst our Kerbals are busy building the rescue craft to get to the Moon Express, we break out the science rover in order to test these little modules and the winch, just to find out if they actually work. I wouldn't want to get all the way up there just to find out we can't actually transfer the resources. That would not be good for anyone involved. So, very carefully and gently manoeuvring here. Not the best to design the rover, this one. Certainly go through a few upgrades, I think. However, that will do. Bill Kerman, our faithful engineer, who in his inventory carries a wrench. I'm not sure why we do that. A wrench. This wrench, by equipping it, there we are, we can unplug things. Oh no, you have to hold H to detach. There we are. Hold G to grab. And if we hold G and drag, hold G, drag into his inventory, there it is. Obviously in space this will be a little easier, or possibly not. I'm not quite sure whether it's going to be easier or harder whilst in zero gravity, but still, let's find out. Grab the connector, wander over, there he is with his trusty wrench in his hand. And plug. There we are. Both craft are now linked. So if we jump back to either one of them, we can open this fuel resource, and without firing the engines, because that's a bad thing, open that fuel resource, and we can transfer fuel around. We are completely draining out the fuel from one rover into the other. So yes, we can transfer fuel and other resources via these cables. That's very, very useful indeed. Let's see how they're getting on back at the VAB. And here she is, the Rescue Craft 1. Uses the same asparagus style staging system as the Mimbus Express, with one added fuel tank there just to give us a little bit more lift. We've got another fuel tank here in the upper stage. That one is locked off. That's purely designed to give fuel to the Mimbus Express, the Moon Express in fact, the one we're trying to rescue. In the oversized service bay we have a couple of monopropellant tanks and the winch with some connectors, as well as an inline stabilizer. We have RCS fitted to the top of this craft so we can manoeuvre around a bit better. I think I should possibly add some on the bottom as well. Would be a very good idea. We are, make the craft more manoeuvrable. We have under every seat in our command pod wrenches. Every single one of them has got a wrench. Redundancy, redundancy. And Jensky and Bill are ready. So, off to space we go. And here we are in a nice round orbit. Now, we need to get ourselves out to the Moon Express. Out here somewhere. It did use a lot more fuel to get into orbit than I expected. The craft is a lot heavier, so that's mostly to blame, I would think. So, set our target. Add a maneuver here, and come out to her. There we are. So, that's our closest approach. We don't want that. We want to come around, target at intersect 1, target intersect 2. I believe. Need to come back some more. That's 91 kilometers away there apparently. So that's what we want to wait for in 2 days' time. This has 300 food on board. We should be good for that. So let's go to 3 days' time. And after 2 days of going round and round and round the planet, we are finally ready to execute our maneuver. It takes an awfully long time for the Moon Express to get round where it needs to be, so we want to make sure we don't miss it. I'm a little worried about the fuel. I should have possibly checked that. No, we're good for fuel. Yes, we have plenty of fuel. I could happily use some from the other tank. So let's go. Missed the timing on the maneuver node. Well, shouldn't be a major problem. Let's fire up the RCS and use that to help us along a little. Using using the H key to fire RCS forwards. There we are. Are we quite there? A little. If I use the RCS a bit more, just to push us out that extra little bit. Trying to save the main engine. There we are. That looks good. That looks good. We are going to be 90 something kilometers away, I feel. Now, of course, when we get out here, we need to actually speed up. Get ourselves in line with the Mimus Express. This is where we have a problem. At the Moon Express, the main problem is I keep pronouncing it wrong. But yes, in order to get to it, we're going to have to burn off an awful lot of fuel. Much more than we actually have. Let's see where... Ah! Oh, we're actually at the wrong point. There we are, that's what we want to be doing. And we want to be adjusting our trajectory. Words that I failed to pronounce. There we are. That's 16.5 kilometers. 11.56. Come back down again. 8.7 kilometers. 978. Use the mouse wheel to scroll slightly to get some smaller numbers. 7.5 kilometers. But we need 600 meters a second, and we don't have that. We have 389. If I was to enable this tank, it does give us more, but then we'd have less fuel to transfer over. This is a real conundrum. I under-engineered this craft. Possibly using that command pod was a bad idea. It does weigh a lot more than the standard one. So we're lugging a lot more material into space. Maybe our asparagus system isn't up to the task of actually doing it. Question is, do I risk going out there to find I then can't get back? This craft does not have as much fuel, as much food and oxygen resources as the other one. It doesn't. Well, where's the fun in not taking risks? Let's give it a whirl. Point ourselves in the correct direction. Warp to our maneuver node. Ah, the Mimus Express is right next door. Right next door. I don't quite see her yet. How far away is she? 36 kilometers. That's... Oh, she's below us. She's below us. There she is. Ah. Right. Right. SAS enabled. We're ready. Let's fire the engines and try and keep up. May use a little bit of mech jeb here to help us point in the correct direction. I'm not entirely sure which sort of way to point, twist, and aim in order to get us to where we need to be. So Mech Jab may be a bit of help here. Haven't got the rendezvous planet unlocked for it yet. That was the wrong button. That's not an issue. Point towards our node again, and fire the engine a little more slowly. And there we are. Right. So we will intersect there at 3.4 kilometers. That's excellent. That's very, very good indeed. Only 2 hours away. Don't know if I could really get any closer. Let's try the RCS. Let's 3.4. Firing towards. Oh, that did not work. That moved us away a little bit more. Right, let's not do that. Let's not muck about with the RCS or anything. Let's just warp to this encounter. Oh, it's a very quick warp to start with. Now we're travelling 8.2 meters a second compared to the Miss Express. We need to prograde and slow ourselves down. I use the RCS for much of this because it's much more precision with it, easier to easier to overshoot, easier to what's the word? Easier to do tiny manoeuvres, smaller manoeuvres. I do that way. That now means we're travelling half a metre a second towards the Moon Express. So if we accelerate time, yes, there we are. We're going to catch her very slowly, very, very slowly indeed. Let's not go mad with the time warp like I did last time and get it all terribly wrong. Right, now need to bring our marker over. It's essentially a game of finding your prograde marker and finding the target marker, placing your ship pointing past the marker in order to bring the marker, so many markers, in order to bring your prograde level with the target. That's the idea. If I fire the RCS this way, my prograde marker comes this side of the target, which means we're now travelling that-ish direction between the two. And accelerating time again means that we will travel towards it as they fly along. There we are again. Look, we're getting there. All with the power of RCS. It's a wonderful thing. You don't actually have to go into docking mode to use your RCS. You can, if you enable it just as standard, you can use H, J, K, L, I think I, yes, I and N. H is forward and N is backwards. J, K, L and I are the same as W, A, S and D. So, nice and easy. You can always maneuver it just by moving your fingers across the keyboard that way. Very, very easy, very simple controls this game has. I like it a lot. Let's just creep in next to the Moon Express. And as we move closer and closer, let's hope that Bill is ready to perform his miracles. But that shall have to wait until next time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, as always, have fun.